I don't know what Hyundai were smoking when they decided to make this car, but whatever they were smoking, I'm glad they did. Car Obsession is proudly supported by Carly and Draggy. Check out the video description to find out the latest discount codes. Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another point of view review. This time I'm joined by the brand new Hyundai Kona N. Now before I take you out for a spin, I want to quickly show you around the car because I think it is a very handsome beast. Now this is finished in Sonic Blue, which is an optional colour. The Kona N has a starting price of £35,820 and the only options you can have are the colours. Let me show you what's lurking underneath the bonnet because it is a complete firecracker. Keyless entry as standard. So this has the same heart as an i30M, meaning you get a 2 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol which offers 280 horsepower along with 392 newton meters of torque. If you prefer £10 I will of course drop a caption below. This car will do 62 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds and the top speed is 149 miles per hour. As you can see, it is a pumped up Kona. It's got lots of sporty features: red piping, glossy black detailing, big 19-inch alloys which are wrapped with Pirelli P0 tyres, and overall I think this package is more appealing than a Ford Puma ST when it comes to the design at least. The Ford Puma ST isn't quite as well proportioned as this car, if you ask me. At the back you've got a faux diffuser, as well as, hopefully you can see, 2 chunky exhaust pipes. There we go. I will quickly show you the boot whilst I'm here in case you really want to see it. It offers 361 litres, which is around 100 less compared to the Puma ST. Anyway, enough practicality, let's get driving. And because this is a performance car, that means, love them or hate them, driving gloves. Yeah, some of you may think it's a little bit poncy, but I couldn't care less. Seatbelt, safety first. Now interestingly, in a brand new car in 2022, look at that, a manual handbrake. A bit old fashioned, but that isn't necessarily a complaint. Now as you will hopefully hear, the Kona N makes a rather healthy sound. Got the engine start stop button to my left hand side. Right, foot on the brake. Oh yes. Let's just get rid of that, whatever. So you can only have an 8-speed DCT in the Kona N, unlike the i30M, which you can have the choice of a 6-speed manual as well. No, the Kona N, it says 8-speed DCT or nothing. I've got lots of driving modes to choose from. One could argue too many. Now, with this being a spirited drive, of course, let's put it into N Custom. Now you can put it into the full fat N, but as I will demonstrate, it's quite jiggly and you're going to get seasick watching this. So if I put it into the N mode, this car's got adaptive dampers as standard, and it makes everything all a bit a bit jiggly. Right, are we good? No, not quite. So I will do the first section of this drive in N mode to really give you an idea of just how firm the dampers are. So yeah, if you feel seasick, look away now. Now I'm really trying to resist movement for my head and neck, but yeah, in M mode it's nigh on impossible, even though this road is fairly smooth. So what I would urge you to do is to set up the custom mode to dial everything up to maximum attack, but have the suspension set to its normal setting. That means you get all the performance but with a softer ride, and even in its softer setting the ride is firm, to say the least. Now I would say a Ford Puma ST would be the easier car to live with, and it's got a bigger boot as well if that really bothers you. Now it is quite warm in here, so I'm going to put the climate control on a touch. As you can see, I've got a digital display in front of me, which does change to coincide with the driving mode. So I've got Eco, Normal and Sport. I've got N and N Custom. I've also got a dial down here. Hit it and I get a choice of snow, deep snow, mud and sand. Now it's worth noting this car is front wheel drive only, so I would argue a front wheel drive performance SUV, you're not really going to be off-roading or doing any green laning in it, are you? So I think those drive modes are somewhat pointless. Anyway, back into N Custom, and just to give you an idea of just how fast this car is, I've got nothing behind me, I can really stop. In fact, oh no, there's a car coming. We will do a launch, but that gives you an idea of just how ferocious the power is in this car. Now around the tyres, I've got Pirelli P0 tyres, and I've also got an electronically controlled limited slip differential. But even with those aids and the fact that this is a dry, warmish day, the power, the car struggles to really put it down. So I imagine in the wet, you'll just throw a lot of power away via wheel spin, because it's very ferocious. You get a sense that when you bury your foot into the carpet, into the accelerator, each front wheel is fighting to see which one can get down the road the fastest. It's all a bit savage. It is all rather violent. So compared to a Ford Puma ST, this has 80 more horsepower and it's got a fair bit more torque as well. Actually, more specifically, it has, doing some quick maths, hang on a minute, 72 more Newton meters. There we go. Some quick maths for you. Now, I am a petrol head and I love performance. However, is there a chance that this car is perhaps a bit too powerful? Oh, I don't know. Now, the rain is starting to fall, which is not going to be good news for those Pirelli P0 tyres. I'll tell you that for nothing. Now, through the corners, as you can imagine, this thing is absolutely brilliant. The brakes have got a nice firm edge to them when you stamp through the pedal. Yes, you do get a bit more body roll compared to the i30M because this is taller. This is a crossover slash SUV, but there is plenty of grip available. Although I would say the Pirelli P0 tyres do perform better in hot, dry conditions. Now that the rain is falling, I do imagine they will not be performing to the optimum. Right, foot hard down. It's very easy to drive this car fast. It's bad to think that this started life out as a relatively practical family SUV, and the N division have gone, no, you know what? Let's dump in a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine in it for good measure and see what happens. Now the 8-speed DCT deserves a special mention because it is slick, responsive, and it just works wonderfully. Now I'm a die-hard fan of manuals, but even so, it's very rare I drive this and think, oh, I'm really missing a manual, because that is how good the 8-speed DCT is, whether you leave it to its own devices or you take control using the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. Now once these motorcyclists have overtaken me, because I get the impression they are going to be a bit impatient, I will show you just how well the paddles work. In the meantime, let's get the wipers on the go. There we go. Right. No, they're not going to overtake me. Fair enough. Well, we shall continue. The steering has got a lovely weight to it, and the feedback feels a bit more natural compared to the Puma ST. I found the ST, it felt a bit elastic. It was a bit too willing to self-center, whereas in the Kona N, yeah, it just feels better. Oh, there we go. There's one. Good chance to demonstrate the blind spot monitoring. Right, so I can drop back now and really show you just how well this works. So, actually, first gear. Oh, yeah, the DCT works very, very well indeed. I've got no complaints there. I would say through the corners, the Puma ST is perhaps a bit more playful, a bit more adjustable, whereas this feels more focused, it feels tauter, and it just feels, this feels more track ready compared to the Puma ST. And I drew a similar conclusion when I tested the i30N compared to the Ford Focus ST Edition, even though the ST Edition had coilovers to make it a bit more racetracky, if that makes sense, and more racy I should say. The i30N just felt more track focused, and the same goes for the Kona N compared to the Puma ST. This definitely feels like it wants to sniff out the nearest race circuit, which in my case would be Goodwood, and go for a damn good thrash around the circuit. Speaking of which, the Kona N offers a 5-year warranty which extends to track usage, so you can take this on your favourite race circuit and have the peace of mind that Hyundai has got enough faith in its product to cover your back. And I really like that. The same goes for the i30N and the i20N. That makes it very attractive if you ask me. One thing that isn't so attractive is the interior. It is rather drab to say the least. Although what I would say is it does feel pretty well put together, apart from the window switches which feel and sound. Can you hear that? They just feel a bit cheap and nasty, but to be fair, you're not going to be operating them that often. Now, I'm in a bit of a catch-22 with my point of views, because some of you prefer me to talk, some of you prefer me to sit here in silence. So to kind of please all of you, for the next segment, I'm going to stop talking and just let you take in the ride, really experience the Kona N. Okay, so I think that's enough silence. So in regard to what you get as standard, of course you get the digital display, which you can hopefully see in front of me, a head-up display, a 10.25 inch touchscreen with Bluetooth, DAB radio, smartphone connectivity and navigation, climate control, wireless phone charging pad, heated and ventilated front seats, heated outer rear seats, heated steering wheel, front and rear parking sensors, reversing camera, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, lane follow assist, 6 airbags. You get the drive modes, automatic lights and wipers, LED lights. Have I missed anything? There is quite a lot on this car as standard. As I may have mentioned, the only thing optional on the Kona N is the paint. This one is finished in Sonic Blue. Oh, I forgot to mention you get a Krell 8-speaker sound system with a subwoofer as well, which sounds pretty good, although I'd say it's not the best sound system I've ever had in a car. That award has to go to the vocal system I experienced in the new DS3. Now, in case you're wondering, I haven't experienced the Bowers and Wilkins sound system, which you can get in cars, or the Burmeister system, which you get in Mercedes. I've heard they are very good. Now, to touch upon the more boring things, such as fuel economy, Hyundai states that on a combined run, this should offer up to around 33 mpg. Now, if I toggle this down, actually, to be fair, you're not going to see it on this one. Oh, FK8, Civic Type R. If I go into a more docile setting, you can see on this particular drive, I've done 23 mpg, and if I go to my accumulated total, 19.4 mpg, and I've covered 79.5 miles. So yes, if you drive this car how it's meant to be driven, I would say really and truly you're looking around, low 20s, maybe even high teens when it comes to fuel economy. Now, to make things fair, on my drive to my filming location this morning, which is about 20 miles per hour, mostly on A roads, I got high 20s, and that was using eco mode with a very considerate right foot. But yeah, like I say, if you drive this car how it's meant to be driven, as you can imagine, the fuel economy will tumble like a fat bloke falling down a flight of stairs. Right, so I haven't got anything behind me now. Granted, it isn't flat down here, but to be fair, I'm not going to be timing it. I'm going to do a launch just to show you how ferocious this car is. And if you think a Puma ST is fast, drive one of these. It will genuinely blow your mind. So I'm going to wait for it to kind of even out a little bit, because this part of the road isn't quite smooth, as you can probably tell by my head bobbing about. But yeah, I think we will do a cheeky launch, because why not? Okay, wait for that car to come past us. And to be fair, this bit looks flattish. So, just keep an eye behind me. Right, so I'm going to hit this button here. I'll explain what this is in a minute. So launch control activate. Right, left foot on the brake. Whoa! Bit of torque steer. I'm going to back off before I go over the speed limit. But yes, did you hear that exhaust? Pop, 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 pop. So, this, the NGS button, that stands for N Grin Shift, which is quite a cheesy marketing name by Hyundai, but essentially this gives you a 20-second overboost and gives you a bit more power as well. With that, you can get this car to 62 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds. I think if you don't use that, you're looking about, I think it's about around 6.5 seconds from what I've read on the internet. That may be incorrect. But yes, that is essentially an overboost button where all hell breaks loose. It's like the world is coming to an end. Oh my word, this car is savage. Dare I say, a bit too fast for what it needs to be. I don't know what Hyundai were smoking when they decided to make this car, but whatever they were smoking, I'm glad they did. Now, as much as I do really like this car, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate, I would say the Puma ST is the easier car to live with. Its ride is more compliant, it's got a bigger boot, it will save you £5,500 as well. Okay, the warranty isn't as good, but this car is, yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. Oh, Quattroporte, an old one. Yeah, this car is just bonkers. B-O-N-K-E-R-S, bonkers. This car should not be kept in a garage, it should be kept in a padded cell. Whoa! That was not for the cameras, that was a genuine reaction. The way how this thing delivers its power is just brutal. It really, really is. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, who am I kidding? Gentlemen. That is enough excitement. Before I get overexcited, I think it's time for us to end. Whew, what a blast that was. I'm sure you'll agree. I do hope you enjoyed the ride. Pop into park, handbrake on. Yeah, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Maybe not as much as I did making the video, but well, maybe you did. If you have enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.